And welcome back to Beyond the Streams. Today we got a pretty good one. This is the only spot you'll find Rojas at next level, and he has no idea what I'm going to say, but I'll be nice today.
Today.
Ladies and gentlemen, next level's beard. What's up, man?
I'm here, man. Weather's getting pretty nice outside. Can't complain. But if you are a nerd like us, you're more interested on the news on the web instead of what's going on outside.
Pretty much. There's stuff happening all the time.
This is something interesting. Telegram's an application, a messaging application. I don't know if you guys can see that there. That a lot of us use to get a lot of the information, communicate with a lot of the app developers, and we have a lot of our own groups there as well. We're used to seeing, copyright infringement notices on YouTube in the community, but this is definitely new when we start to see it in applications like Telegram. It's not just one or two of the groups that I follow that I've seen these kind of notifications in as well. So here's another one of the groups that I follow. They put out this little notice. So I'll read it to you guys really quickly. It says, on behalf of our hub admin creators, it has been one hell of a ride. If you've been with us since day one, the popular hub channel has now currently been coerced to a complete shutdown due to infringement claims, despite of our full compliance of content removal. You can let us know your positive votes and comments if you contact them and all that kind of good stuff. But to me, this is something where I've had a lot of people come to me and say, Telegram doesn't have copyright infringements and they don't get shut down. Your groups don't get shut down. Well, I mean, it's happening and it's happening now. So it doesn't matter where you think that you're safe on the interwebs. These copyright claims are coming for everybody. It looks like.
Now, for people who don't know what Telegram is, it's just like Messenger. It's just like Facebook groups. It's just another platform where people could go and create a group and have conversations. And I know when it came to a lot of the stuff within YouTube, and I will say the word, if you know what I'm talking about, it's a 4-letter word, Jody. And if you know, I'm already pronouncing it wrong. But what they do is there's a lot of people getting in trouble randomly, even if you weren't even showing much, just by bringing it up. They would, channels have been shut down because of it. People have got notices or letters or just a lot of stuff happening out there. So one of the things that a lot of people did was like, you know what, why don't we just go to Telegram where we can freely discuss stuff, talk about stuff. And now that we see something like this is very interesting because people were very like, yeah, I could talk whatever I want. I could do whatever I want. Yep. It's like, well, can you really?
Yep.
And that tells me that you got to be careful, because you if you piss somebody off, all it takes is one person to get the ball rolling, and people will look into it.
It's like on YouTube. When YouTube receives a copyright notice on behalf of a company or a person or whatever, you got to remember that these companies don't want to spend any money out of their own pocket. They're not gonna go and investigate the copyright notice. They're just gonna tell you, just stop what you're doing. Just stop it, right? I mean, if you want to continue doing what you're doing, then it's the onus is on you to debate it, to fight it. But a lot of times they would rather just wash their hands and say they're done with the issue and move on, right? I mean, we've both had copyright issues on our channels, and every single time we've had to fight it. And I mean, I think I've won all of mine, but YouTube's not in the business of fighting it for me. The same way that I don't think Telegram would fight a copyright claim that your group or that you get while using their platform. The onus is on you. I don't even know how compliant they would be when you're fighting it, because it's been pretty crazy with YouTube. I've seen YouTube channels just get shut down completely. Channels with 500, a million subscribers, 500,000, a million subscribers, and they fight. I recently had a chat with one of my friends who has a 500,000 subscriber YouTube channel, and he got shut down over false claims. And as I was talking to him, I was like, so you started a new channel. It's got like 60,000 subscribers now, but it took you over a month to get back your old channel. And he's like, yep, but I got it back. And I'm like, so you lost all of that YouTube revenue for that whole month for 500,000 subscribers? And he's like, yeah, I did, but I got my YouTube channel back. So I
Mhm.
guess you kind of got to pick and choose your battles and pick and choose where you're stressed out about. But it's crazy because a lot of us content creators build a life around what we can do on these platforms, but we're also very limited, and we're held dangled by a little thread.
It's true, and then it just goes back to some of the stuff that we talked about. Like here's an article about Nintendo that they had 300,000 accounts that were hacked just this year. And when we talk about like infringements and we talk about like getting your stuff safe and like how he got how he got his old channel back, you really don't know what's going to happen if somebody falsely claims something and then you're the victim of something. Here Nintendo's the victim of a security breach. Just coming down here, this is coming from CNN Business. It says that the hack was discovered back in April, and at the time, Nintendo said users would no longer need to use these IDs to log into their accounts, and the passwords on accounts that may have been breached would be reset. Previously, the company said 160,000 accounts were hacked, but June of this year, it updated those numbers to a whopping 300,000. Now that just tells you it's I don't know who. Well, I'm pretty sure then with when a company when you're that big of a company, I'm pretty sure you could piss off people.
Oh, for
So
sure.
maybe the new Mario Kart didn't come out and somebody got mad. I don't know. But when Nintendo discovered the additional hacked accounts after continuing the investigation, the company said on Tuesday in a statement written in Japanese on its website. The company also stated that it's taking additional security measures. Only a small fraction of the breach accounts were used to make fraudulent purchases, and refunds for these customers are nearly complete. At least that's what Nintendo is doing right now. So that's good that they are taking care of their users. Nintendo did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Um, and then the article just goes on of what they've been doing and what measures they've been taking. So it's pretty gnarly when you think about it. And I know we've talked about this before. When people create their accounts, they'll put their name, the last name, address, credit card information, billing information. Like they put all this information in there. And one of the things that is there's an option in all these platforms to use a third party payment portal.
Yeah.
PayPal being a giant one. PayPal is very, very popular. If somebody hacks into my account, my PlayStation Network account, they're not going to find anything but my name, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And if I need to if I need to pay for something or buy for something, I got to go to PayPal. I got to log in. I got to the two-factor authorization.
Yeah.
Something pops up, so I'm there with my phone. I'm there with the thing. I'm clicking it, and I'm like, good, cool. I'm good to go. Um,
Well, the interesting thing is, so a little bit more about that article. Um, some people were claiming that they lost up to $500 in regards to people spending money on their accounts. Now, where it gets even more interesting is that I think there's a lot more people with the new age gaming where people are building communities or being a part of communities, right? You have a lot more streamers and Twitch and mixers and all those kind of platforms, and you have a huge friend list when you log into these platforms, these game consoles, right? And think about it, you spend a lot of time building up your online representation of who you are when you enter these platforms. And if people are able to, well, one, they are able to get access to your account and then sell it on the dark web, like the article was saying. I think it was something stupid too, where it was less than a penny account when we were reading through that article. But somebody would have complete access to your online identity on that platform, right? And while they have that access, who knows what they could do that would infringe on your privacy, your identity on that platform, right? Like money is not the only thing that we ever talk about that's at risk. There's so much more. like who you are and your identity, and you upholding a certain presentation of yourself can all be snatched away in a second, and someone can change how somebody looks at you because of how they act on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know one thing that we did talk about before was PlayStation got hacked just a few years back,
It
and
did.
they've had several hacks. I'm looking at one article here where they were. It looks like they hacked they're actually PlayStation Twitter Brazil. It said PlayStation contact us. We got PlayStation Network database leaked. Let's make PlayStation leaks trending. Ourmine.org. This is how you can contact us. And it says, no, we aren't going to share it. We are a security group. If you work at PlayStation, then please go to our website, ourmind.org. Just like, wait a minute.
What
It's
is
almost like
this?
they're hijacking them. I've never heard of this company, Our Mind.
But that's pretty much what I was just saying. Somebody's talking on behalf. They're pretending to be somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it says here, Our Mind claims to have breached Sony's company network too, stealing key customer data too. This is not the first time Sony has been hacked, nor that sensitive customer information has been stolen. And I know we had it. Was it a couple years ago? 2011.
11.
It was
Yeah.
what, 700,000 people.
Crazy amount. Imagine that, 700,000 people in 2011 on a gaming platform. That's like the whole network. You know, maybe not, but you know what I mean. Like that's that's a lot of
Whole
people.
network in a city, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
It's.
wasn't it more than 700,000? Wasn't it million? 77 million?
I think it was like, yeah, 77 million sounds right.
77 million. So that's a lot of people on a gaming platform.
Mhm.
When multiplayer and the online features just came out like within the last few years from that, right?
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy just to think about that, like what people do. And I want to say, when we talked about this, it seemed like they were going to start charging for their PlayStation Network, or they just launched the charging,
Yeah.
because they weren't doing the charging before.
No, they
And then
weren't.
all of a sudden, boom, you got hacked.
Yeah.
It was almost instantaneous. As soon as, and I could only imagine if they got a lot of people signed up, they got a lot of people all in the system now, and then again, piss somebody off, and look what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's kind of cool to see when something like this happens, what the companies do to help compensate, or to help up the security, or what it is that they do, because virtually, like pretty much anything can get hacked if you're really, really good. And I think I know we've seen like movies and stuff, and they say like, oh, they hacked into the White House, or they hacked into
Yeah.
Area 51, or
Whatever it is. Yeah.
whatever. They hack into all these different things, but in reality, it's because stuff like that has probably happened or is currently happening. They just keep things in, under hush
Under.
hush.
Yeah.
So when you see stuff like this, to me it's always interesting. Like, okay, cool. What are they going to do next?
For sure, because you know what, I look at a lot of this stuff in regards to security updates as a response. It's like people are always out there. They have something called uh, white hat hacking or ethical hacking, right? Where they'll teach people how to do these things. There's places that'll run courses, and then big companies will hire these hackers to come in and test the security of their network. So you have the people that get paid to do it professionally, and then you have the people that do it on the dark web, right?
Right. Now, do
And yeah,
you have, just real quick, sorry, I was just thinking about this. Do you have Target in
no,
Canada?
Target tried to come to Canada and they shut down. They couldn't handle it here.
Do you remember, I think it was back in 2012. Do you remember, again, I don't know if I know this happened to Target, and I think it happened to several stores, but I don't know if it happened up in Canada,
Mm,
where people were purchasing stuff for the holidays, and the actual reader, the debit card reader,
mm.
was
Skimmed.
well, yeah, they were hacking the readers. And what people did was they put their debit card inside,
Yeah.
slide it out. As soon as that information went in, it went somewhere else.
Yeah, they were skimming it. That's called skimming. They usually put a different attachment onto the actual where you put your card in. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So they do that a lot here with gas stations.
Ah, I remember here. Well, the one thing I noticed is all of a sudden there's chips. All of a sudden, a lot of our
Mm-hmm.
debit cards have chips now because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that like so much money just got stolen from so many people. Um,
But you see, that's a really good example as to if we didn't have people testing the security of these systems, we would be really vulnerable in this age of tech.
mhm,
Honestly, it would just take one really smart person to just go around and clean house. But it's good that the companies act really quickly. They fix the loopholes, the security issues, and there's a lot of insurances in place to kind of get us back to where we need to do. But like we always say, us as an end user, us as a person on the other side that's actually using all these services, and us that has an identity to protect, assets to protect, we have to do our own due diligence. We have to accept that this is going to happen, but we have to be prepared to work with the platforms and be smart while we do it, right? Like you were saying with PayPal, don't put all your banking information in one place. Making sure you have two-factor authentication. Keep an eye on those emails when they come through. All that kind of stuff. You want to change your passwords on a regular basis. Everything you can do, you should do. It's the onus is not always on whatever platform you're accessing. We have to take some of that responsibility ourselves.
mhm. Yeah, that's true. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, man, like like how much can I do before it's like I don't know where it becomes like too much or it's I know there's things we recommend like the VPNs and
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have a complicated password or different types of payment portals. Do what you're in control of on your end, and hopefully it's what the most that you can do on your end can protect you to an extent. Because again, like you said, if it's somebody very very smart that comes in and can clean house, they'll clean house if they have
Yeah.
to, if they want to, you know?
For sure, for sure. Some of the things that I would probably suggest is that if you do choose to link a credit card to something, maybe see if the platform that you're linking the credit card to will accept like gift cards, gift credit cards. And you can set the limit of that card to whatever you purchase it at, like $100 or $200, something that's not going to make you default on a mortgage payment. You know what I mean?
Mhm, yeah.
But these are all things that you should think about when you're being smart online. These are all things you need to think about. Even using services like PayPal, what's their insurances like? Investigate these things. Understand what tools you have in your online security belt.
Definitely. So I hope you guys have picked up some good stuff in there. There's always, I know people are gonna say like, wow, Telegram, really? I was pretty shocked when
Me too.
just looking at that, I was like, whoa. So, but I hope you guys are, we always say like, you guys stay safe out there. There's so much stuff going on, but this is gonna be the end of the episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff coming. We try to stay ahead of the power curve as much as we can.
Yeah.
So, as always, we're gonna sign off. You guys take care of each other,
Be patient and stay humble.
and we'll see you guys
See,
soon.
see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.